Shelter Stay Part 2. My entire experience at the shelter wasn't a negative experience. In fact, I was grateful to have a roof over my head, a bed to sleep in, the ability to eat free meals that was provided for me. I was grateful, in theory, to have the ability to pull myself up and enter into the program that they said was offered. It, to be able to gain valuable skills and job training skills to be able to re-enter the workforce. I was grateful in theory. Had it been normal, in the normal course of action on how it was advertised and supposed to work for anybody else. However, when it came to me, the orchestration, the acting, the gaslighting was already in place. Many of the people that was in the shelter had already come from out of town and needed shelter. They needed a roof over their head because they came from every city, every state. Many of these people that were in the shelter the day I walked in had vehicles parked outside, right in front of the shelter, all around on the side streets, etc. Many of these people had laptops and technology. These people was receiving real paychecks from being flying monkeys and stalkers. They had a payroll. They had a way to get paid. They often discuss having money on their Cash App and everything. Many of these people were not truly homeless. These were people taking up space in the shelter from people who truly needed a roof over their head. These flying monkeys, false friendship group and criminal network, came in from out of town, moved into the shelter because the people they isolate and target need these resources. So they infiltrate every facet of society where the very people they drove into isolation they know are going to be in need. So now you have people who actually get paid to target, stalk, harass, infiltrate into the shelter, the churches, the community centers, and take up space in services like free mail, medical attention, meals, etc. from people who are truly isolated, homeless, or need these services. These devils, narcissistic sociopath, had no regard for the sanctity and solitude, for how these institutions were created and meant to be used for. They just weasel their way in, and it was all fun and games to harass and isolate and stalk and bring in more recruits and flying monkeys and sellouts, those that will sell their own mother out for chump change and temporary gratification at seeing somebody else miserable or going through a tough time. I watched how they, on the surface, pretend to love God and talk about God and preach sermons and bring volunteers in to preach sermons, the same volunteers that was a part of this false friendship group and criminal network. The same volunteers that profess to love God and preach sermons and preach about forgiveness all day, 5 days a week, Paul doctrine, Paul scriptures. Paul said, Paul said, Paul said, 5 days a week. Everything was about Paul, about you can sin and commit atrocious evil acts and deeds, and the Lord will forgive you if you repent. Not once did these devils communicate having to atone for your evil deeds and actions. Not once did they talk about and explain that the wages of sin is death. Not once did they talk about how once you sin and correct your mistakes, you sin no more. You go on and you be as honest as you can. Admit to what you participated in. No, not that. Just you could be a damn devil and demon and create demise in other people's lives. Turn their world upside down. And as long as you got a good rapport with God, I committed atrocities. I sacrificed that innocent soul, that innocent life. But me and you, we good, right? All I got to do is reach out to you and repent, right? And everything go back to normal. We don't even got to talk about the person I tried to sacrifice and the headspace I was in and how evil and wicked and diabolical I was, right? Nah, Paul said just repent and I'll be forgiven. And I could be a damn demon and I could repeat, rinse, recycle, and do the same shit over and over. Sin, be a damn demon, and repent. No atonement, no accountability, no honesty, no admission, no telling the truth, no showing, being contrite and, turning from my evil ways. Nah, just do it as much as I want to. And they were comfortable at preaching this doctrine and drilling it into people's heads. And then I realized this is how dark cults and covens, criminal networks and organizations maneuver, how they manipulate and influence the minds of people and convince them that you could be a damn demon and commit these atrocities as long as you repent. The other thing I noticed, they had a whole entire secret group of downloads. Again, I mentioned in other videos, I do not judge people based on their sexual preference. However, the corrupt cop associated with my ex is bisexual and therefore recruited his tribe. And then when you look at the Luciferians and the trajectory of these fraternities, they have been infiltrated by Luciferians. They practice these weird rituals where they are also to hide into the entertainment industry, where they are able to hold certain things over your head that you have to participate in. This is being revealed and coming out more and more. So now you have a whole community that once felt unprotected, unloved, unsafe, no equal rights, now are participating in being bullies, clowns, cowards, and stalking and harassment. Now, mind you, if you all, in a normal course of your lives, simply handled your business and did what you did, no problem. Nobody hates you because of your sexual preference or who you choose to love or be with or how you were born, etc. But when you weaponize your community and you hide behind the whole, oh, we're this way, so we should be protected and you shouldn't bother us because it counts as a hate crime. Nah, you milking the system. You're abusing the system. You are participating in hate crimes. So whatever penalty and punishment and judgment coming spiritually or otherwise is deserved. You understand? Same with this entire criminal network of narcissistic sociopath. Those that stalk and commit identity theft, identity fraud, sacrifice innocent souls, abuse divination. Those who don't truly believe in God or the Most High, the angels as they profess on the surface, but dabble into low vibrational energies and practices behind the scenes in the dungeons, in the basements, behind the curtains, behind the veil, etc. There's karma to pay. I know they don't believe in karma. They don't believe in judgment. They believe because they have the titles and the positions and the corrupt buddies in the justice system, etc. And they're able to erase citations and they're able to look out for each other in certain ways. And they've been able to get away with committing these evil, atrocious, wicked and evil deeds that, hey, there's no consequences. They could do whatever they want. They could throw money at a problem and it'll go away. That has typically been how it worked until it doesn't work anymore. Until the divine says enough is enough. Until the universe says enough is enough. And when enough is enough, when the ancestral realm and the angels, the ancient overseers, the galactical confederation say enough is enough, then enough is enough. And so those who don't believe in karma, those who don't think that there's consequences for their actions and deeds and sacrificing innocent souls and infiltrating the shelters and training young men to behave like delusional, obsessed, deranged, crazy females and lay in a bed and watch other men all day instead of training them with carpentry skills, electrical skills, plumbing skills, HVAC skills, These dummies and devils in these organizations that throw money at issues lack vision, lack purpose, and all they know how to do is try to win at all costs and create demise in other people's lives. So they take our young men, instead of making them productive for a future workforce with skills and training that's going to be necessary, they tell them, hey, there's an adventure to go into the shelter. Eat 3 times a day, play basketball, smoke cigarettes, lay in the bed and watch another man all day. Monitor him, make sure he don't have no peace, disrupt his sleep, sneak around his bed at night, maybe cut his hair. We need that for rituals, perform rituals, watch him, make sure he don't, post to his platform, make sure he don't have peace and quiet to create peacefully. Watch him in the cafeteria, retardedly stare at him from the balcony, walk behind him, use harmful frequencies on your phones. Put them to sleep by way of sleepy frequencies as the base frequencies. If the sleepy frequencies work, graduate into other harmful frequencies that's meant to attack the inner cells and the inner organs and stuff like that. It's a whole thing these devils and demons were up to.